All right, perfect. Now we are off to our RCC live feature. Stacy, if I can turn it over to you to tell us what happens when you walk through the door of CCAR.
Sure, absolutely. So thank you all for having me. My name is Stacy Charpentier. I am the executive director for the Connecticut Community for Addiction Recovery. Next slide. Um, I just want to share a little bit about what happens in a recovery community center. So a lot of times people wonder, what happens and what are people greeted with when they come in? And at CCAR, you are greeted with warmth, a smile, as well as a group of people who are really just interested in helping you figure out what your recovery pathway is meant to look like for you. Next slide, please. So I always share our vision and our mission because this is something that we consistently model in all of our programming. So we envision a world where the power, hope, and healing of recovery from alcohol and other addictions is thoroughly understood and embraced. Our mission is simple. We put a face on recovery. We provide recovery support services and promote recovery from alcohol and other addictions through advocacy, education, and service. And obviously, we strive to end discrimination surrounding addiction and recovery. We try to open new doors, remove barriers, and we always honor multiple pathways of recovery. We want to make sure that anybody, regardless of where they are in their journey or what pathway they decide to use, that they're welcome. Next slide, please. So this is really important to us because we have a lot of values within our center that we typically honor within all of the spaces that we provide recovery support services. So one, our focus is on recovery first. We want to make sure that we don't mission drift ever. And so our focus is always on that principle. We also believe that you are in recovery if you say you are. We're not there to judge anybody or to describe what somebody's definition of recovery should be. As I said, there are many pathways of recovery. We focus on the recovery potential, not the pathology. We always want to stay positive. We err on the side of the recovery always, and we err on the side of being generous. And so one of the things that's important about that too is sometimes generosity also means saying no. It means maybe having somebody go through the motions in their journey so that they learn a lesson or two, and so sometimes, a lot of times, as people who want to help, we sometimes overhelp. And so we want to remember that we want somebody to grow in their journey. This isn't taking any part of the process away from them. And so sometimes being generous means actually having somebody do a little bit of work to get to an endpoint or a goal that they are looking to achieve. Next slide, please. So we have 8 recovery community centers throughout Connecticut, and you can see the list of them as well. While they all have their own unique flavor because of the community that makes them up, we have a lot of similar programs, and you also will get the same feel that reflects our values at every single one of our centers. We do have a few staff, usually 2 or 3, and then the rest of the programs and the rest of the meetings and groups and things that we bring are brought in by either outside people or volunteers that come into the center. Next slide, please. So we believe that recovery community centers are safe spaces, and they're recovery-oriented sanctuaries where people find belonging, explore all those different pathways, they build relationships, they learn, they grow, they have the opportunity to give back, which so many people talk about being one of the best things about being in recovery is giving back. And also to connect to resources and to experience hope. A lot of times, even just hearing somebody tell their story or seeing somebody grow within their process inspires hope in other people that they can do that for themselves. Next slide, please. So I'm not going to go through all the different multiple pathways, but as you can see, we honor every single one of them, and even some that aren't actually official pathways, right? If somebody comes in and they decide that they want to journal or they want to paint or they want to, whatever it is, talk to trees, whatever it is that they want to do that is important to them, We want to explore it. We also believe that people use multiple pathways through their recovery journey. Somebody may start with AA or 12-step fellowship, and then they decide that they want to try something else. So it's almost like a tapestry of different supports and pathways that can help someone along their journey. And we have groups that will honor any different pathway that somebody wants to bring into the center. Next slide, please. So when you come into CCAR, we ask two really important questions. How can we help you with your recovery today? Every single receptionist at the desk who is a volunteer for CCAR will ask that question, because we want to know, what is it that you're looking for today? Sometimes I need help with resumes. Sometimes I want to go to a meeting. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm looking for. And so another question might be, if somebody's sitting with a staff member or one of our volunteer recovery coaches, is, what does recovery look like to you? We want to make sure that all of our services are person-centered. And so these two questions really allow that person to take control of what their experience with CCAR is, and also what their experience in recovery is. Next slide, please. So we want people to feel that they belong. We want them to feel included. We want them to experience new beginnings and second chances. We want the community to feel supportive of each other, provide that hope, healing, community, positivity, and most importantly, love. You know, a lot of times people are afraid to say those things in professional spaces, but we do. We love on each other. You know, there is no a shortage of hugs and people, you know, just wishing each other well, congratulating each other. And it's really motivating and inspiring, you know, to just see people just have that love for each other. Next slide, please. So a lot of the recovery support services that we have are, again, like I said, we do a lot of meetings, a lot of different groups. But we have all recovery meetings, which are basically, we pick a topic, anybody can join, and we just allow anybody to kind of talk about and contribute towards what they feel about that topic. We have meetings that are geared towards women, men, young people, Spanish, the LGBTQ plus community. Like I said, we do bring in different groups that kind of focus on different pathways, so people get an understanding of what some of those pathways are. We do a lot of training. We want to make sure that people see themselves as a leader in the recovery community, as volunteers. And so we want them to be trained so that they can talk about, you know, maybe their story and why their story is important and how their story can maybe impact somebody else. We provide people help with pardons. We provide people ways to, even as volunteers, to do their own group facilitation, so that it's not just staff running these meetings. We also do a lot of fun stuff. Journaling, yoga, arts and crafts, gardening, whatever it is. If somebody has an idea that they think would be a great group or meeting, bring it on. We'll get to it. We also provide telephone recovery support, and I'll get to that, as well as recovery coaching. And we do have a special program now that is targeted towards young people and family services. So we do have 3 recovery community center coordinators that focus on that, as well as a manager. And they run meetings and groups that are just geared towards that population. Next slide, please. So as I said, telephone recovery support. So we've been providing that service for over 20 years. We do weekly check-ins. We provide encouragement and support. A lot of times people who are new in recovery, they may have burned some bridges, and this program allows us to reach out to them. All they do is sign up. We have links on our website. Somebody signs up, they get a call for 12 weeks. Every week, somebody from the center will call in and just, hey, how's it going? This is so-and-so from CCAR. How can I help you? Is there anything that you're struggling with? Anything that I can help you figure out in your journey? But it is really a way to build that connection, but also it's win-win, because the person providing the calls feels, again, like that giving of service and giving back, as well as knowing that they're a help to somebody else in somebody else's journey. And so it's been a really powerful program. I know numerous centers across the world have taken that on themselves, and we're really proud of it, because we just celebrated 20 years of providing that service. Next slide. So Before I wrap up, I just want to share some numbers from our annual report from 2024. As you can see, through our 8 centers, we serve a lot of people and we provide a lot of different meetings and a lot of different value to people who come in. 43,000 telephone recovery support calls made, 50,000 hours of volunteer service. As I said, we couldn't run what we do without our volunteers. 56,000 visits to CCARs and over 23,000 individuals served. So I just think, when you think about 8 centers in a small state like Connecticut, this is truly impactful. And what's amazing is a lot of the impact that is made is from the volunteers in those centers, because they're the ones that are greeting the people when they come in and making them feel welcome, so they want to come back for more. And then I believe my last slide is just our contact information, our website. If anybody ever, wants to get in touch, I will put my email in the chat as well. If you have any questions or want to learn anything else about CCAR, please let me know. And I just thank you for giving me the opportunity to take a few minutes and share a bit about what we do.
Awesome, Stacy. And the 20 years is so impressive and so wonderful. And also, when you said love and you did it in caps, you definitely feel that. We were there and we felt it. It is very palpable and part of what you all do, and it's inspiring.
Thank you so much.